Good morning, everyone, and welcome to FPL Mate. First of all, apologies for how tired I look. I hadn't actually realised until I turned the camera on how actually tired I look today. But yeah, obviously didn't sleep very well last night. I managed to pull my back out playing Call of Duty last night. Is that just a sign that I'm getting old, or maybe that I'm trying too hard when I'm playing Call of Duty? I don't know. I don't know, but it happened. But yeah, as such, a bit of a rough sleep, to be honest. And yeah, to be honest, I need to go and lay down again. My back is killing me, man. How on earth has that happened? I don't know. I don't know, guys. But anyway, good morning, everyone. Hope we are all doing very well today. Yeah, it's been a long time since the last deadline. A really, really long time. Was I raging whilst playing? I was trying a little bit too hard. It has to be said. It's been a while since the last deadline. I don't really know how we're going to deal with all of the injury issues and all of the rotation that's obviously going to come this week. It's going to be a bit of a. There's going to be a few surprises this week. I can tell already. I'm just going to write some notes in the ticker. Gabriel is out for weeks at minimum. Semenyo is going to be a last minute call. And I don't really know if there's anything else super relevant right now. So we'll just leave those two in for now. Let me show you where I am with my team. And obviously we'll get to questions and stuff. Ooh. That shouldn't look like that. Is that a little bit more visible? There we go. So, yes, transfer made last night. I did say that I was going to make the transfer of Gabriel to Virgil last night because there was price changes either way, up and down. And indeed, those price changes did happen. So, it's a pretty it's a pretty boring transfer, I can't lie. I think, to be honest, the only surprise you're probably seeing on screen right now, because it's a pretty boring transfer move, let's be honest. Gabriel to Virgil, everyone's doing it. Really boring. Yawn, I get it. Saka captain. Saka captain. So I have made the change this morning. Basically, I put out a tweet last night, basically saying, can anyone convince me to not captain Haaland, to captain someone else? And whilst nobody was able to convince me to captain any one particular player outside of Haaland, there were a lot of strong arguments against Haaland. And to be honest, I knew a lot of the arguments, but seeing them all in one place, I was kind of looking to be convinced, to be honest. I wanted to be convinced to captain someone else. Because I think the idea really is this week is if you're not going to if you're going to captain Haaland this week, then when are you not going to captain Haaland? Because really, this is Haaland's worst fixture by far for months. Really, we're looking at maybe Liverpool away in 25. Maybe Arsenal at home in 33. These are the only other fixtures that really stand out as, difficult ones for the rest of the season. So if we're going to captain someone other than Haaland just 3 more times this season and captain him every other game week, then this is probably one of those weeks to not captain Haaland. Otherwise, you're just captaining Haaland every week, right? You know me, guys. I do like to go a little bit different when an opportunity presents itself. Joshua, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Very much appreciated, my friend. But yeah, it's I think if you are going to go against Haaland, this is probably the week to do it, right? And outside of that, who are you going to go for? I mentioned if I had Salah, I would probably captain Salah, but I don't. Then we've got the likes of Mateta and Sarr. A little bit worried about, not so much worried, but less willing to captain Mateta because obviously he did have that minor issue over the international break. He is going to be fine. He's been in training, but I do wonder with Eddie and Nketiah back and available, whether Mateta might see a slight reduction in his minutes this game week. And I'm not saying, like a halftime sub or anything, but, if he's played for 75 minutes instead of 90 minutes, these are the kind of small things that might help make decisions, right? But he is another player I do like. Is Milasar maybe as well, but yeah, I'm not sure this is really set up for Sar. From a tactical point of view, I guess. We've got a super chat here. £5 from Sam L says, I have 3 options: Enzo to Mbermo, Semenyo to Mbermo, or go without Mbermo, which is best. I mean, I personally have, or at least had, not sure if I can afford it anymore, but had or have the option to do Enzo or Semenyo to Mbermo, and I've chosen not to do it. So if you're asking me what I would do, then I've pretty much made the decision for my own team that that I'm not going to be getting Mbermo. So that's what I'm doing, not getting Mbermo, going without Mbermo. I don't know if that's going to be best or not, but that's the decision I've made. And I could have done it for a free transfer. I had the money. I probably still have the money in the bank to do Semenyo to Mbermo. I've chosen not to do that. Enzo to Mbermo, not really interested in that either, to be honest. Josh says, does renewing the membership reset my 40-month membership tag? No, it doesn't, Josh. I was going to say, I swear you've been a member before, but I didn't want to make myself look foolish if I was wrong. But yes, no, if you do rejoin as a member, you keep your badges and everything like that. By the way, there should be, I think there's like 4 or 5 people who have 60-month badges now, 5-year FPL Mate membership badges, which is crazy. It's crazy that we've been doing this that long, to be honest. Lots of people asking about bench boost this week. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people saying, should I bench boost this? And every single time I've kind of thought probably not. Because they mostly have Dubravka, which is not great. And then, probably a Sunderland defender away against Fulham. Like, it's okay, but, this is not. I think Fulham's clean sheet odds are probably around 25% for this week. So, it's not like a 30% plus chance. So it's probably not a bench boost of a week for most people. But, I mean, to be honest, you may be struggling for future game week. I mean, when does Dubravka next have a good fixture? 16, 18, perhaps? Even 13 is a little bit better. And then I guess you're also looking at, okay, so 13, 16, 18. When does Sunderland have a good fixture as well? 13, 16, 18, 13, 16, 18. 13, 16, 18. 18. 18 probably looks like a good bench boost week if you have both Dubravka and a Sunderland defender, because you've got Leeds at home for a Sunderland defender and you've got Everton at home for Dubravka. So that's probably what I would do. What will Arsenal's lineup be now? Good question. Can I find something that can help us? Let's see. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. I am going to try and make something very quickly for you guys. Here for FPL says, Dan, mate, I have 2 free transfers. Alderete first bench, thinking of Semenyo to Sar. What's your thoughts? Cheers, mate. Hope you have a great weekend. I mean, yeah. I mean, as someone with Semenyo, I think if you have Alderete as your first bench cover, it's probably a little bit luxurious to make the transfer, to make a Semenyo transfer. Of course, it's always, up to you if you feel like making that move or not. But honestly, I don't think I would make the move personally if you have bench cover. I think that's pretty much it. If you have bench cover, then no need to make the Semenyo transfer. If you don't have bench cover, then maybe it could be worth making a little cheeky transfer. I'm just setting something up, by the way, guys, for the Arsenal-related question to hopefully provide some answers. Okay. Right. And that's not really what I was looking for. Okay. Almost there. See, I'm putting the extra effort in, guys. I've made a little graphic. I mean, I'm reusing an old graphic, to be honest, but still. Okay, well, I've covered my face somehow in all of this. I can't remember which button is it. This? Oh, there we go. Right. There we go. That's not bad. There was another super chat in the chat, wasn't there? Let's just check that before I go on. Right. So, what extra effort we've got. So Kong says Senesi captain. What's your thoughts? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't go anywhere near Senesi captain. West Ham are scoring goals at the moment. Bournemouth are conceding goals at the moment. You're just counting on defensive contributions really for Senesi. I'm not keen on that one at all, really. And there's loads of other options. If you're desperate to go against Haaland, there's so many other options. Simon says captain Van Dijk, Haaland, or Bruno Fernandes. I wouldn't captain Van Dijk. He's a good transfer in, but I think we need to manage our expectations a little bit with Virgil. He's not like the second coming of Jesus Christ or anything like that. He's just a good Gabriel replacement, so not quite captain material. Haaland is always a good captain, but Bruno Fernandes, if you want to go differential, I think is a solid captain, a very solid captain pick. So basically just not Virgil. Then Haaland if you want to be safe, Bruno if you want to be risky. Out of those three options anyway. Right, so how are Arsenal going to line up? So probably Trossard on the right wing. Probably Eze there. Maybe Lewis Skelly here. Maybe Ben White here. Since Timber hasn't been in any training photos, which is a little worrying. And probably Hincapié here. But, and I think Gyökeres is going to be back, by the way. Timber could be here as well. So Timber / White. Let's just put both in. So something like that. But like if you were going week to week, it could also easily be Mosquera there. There's a chance it's Mosquera there this week. I think Lewis Skelly's probably going to play here. But like week to week, it's, you know, one of MLS or Calafiori. So that's pretty much what we're looking at right now. I mean, the only other maybe question mark is Marino maybe coming in here if Gyökeres isn't quite ready. So to answer the Arsenal-related question, how are Arsenal going to line up? Something like this. It's really difficult to say exactly, but if I was to make a guess, something like that. And I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, you know, if Gabriel's going to be out, can we just go for Hincapié? Well, maybe, but like Mosquera, I think is going to play some of these games. And then what if Gabriel is back sooner than you think? And then, you know, you've got the left back situation. Calafiori looks risky this week. He's not been in training. On the right back position, Timber's not been pictured in training, but I didn't think he was unavailable. But you know, these scary things happen sometimes. There was a lot of training photos and none of Timber, but you know what Arteta's like, so you don't know if that's just like a bit of trickery going on, perhaps. And yeah, the forward position is a question mark this week. But yeah, rumored that Gyökeres is going to be back, which is good news. Pretty good news. Pretty good news. So there we have it, guys. I can take that off screen now. But yeah, aside from that, Saka is good this week. Ezra's good this week. Rice should be the good this week as well. Saliba, absolutely fine. Raya, always fine. There we go. There we go. Right, let's scan through some of these other questions in the chat. Mateta captain while having Haaland and Sarr and no Saka. I don't think it makes much of a difference. You could captain Mateta. You could. I mean, I don't mind it. It's very difficult to sit here and say you should captain X, Y, and Z player because this is one of those weeks where it is, to me, it feels really wide open and there's no one right answer. Let's do a poll, actually, guys. Who is your Game Week 12 captain? And I'm going to put Haaland. I think Saka will be popular. I think Mateta will be popular. I will put Mateta / Sarr, and then I'll put other. Because I think those are the key 3, probably, this week that are being spoken about a lot. Bench list, yes, we'll be showing you a bench list in just one moment. What are your thoughts on Tarkowski bench for Alderete this week? Yes, I would bench Tarkowski for Alderete. Play Alderete, yeah. I would indeed. Could Haaland be getting more points since Dan Burn is out? Like corners? Not particularly, no. I think actually Newcastle are improved with a proper left back in Lewis Hall playing instead of Burn at left back. So I actually think Newcastle, in theory, should be better because when they were playing Hall at left back, or when Burn wasn't playing at left back, they were better. So they were a better side. And I think there's even a chance that Newcastle could play 5 at the back with Fabian Schär coming in to the defense. I think there's a good chance that that happens as well. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I think that I think Burn being out is a good thing. Weirdly for Newcastle. Morning, Dan. Why are you starting Semenyo? He has an ankle injury. As always, I said this in the member stream the other week, but I'll say it again for you guys. Something happened within the last year where people look and see this yellow flag and they see ankle injury, 75% chance of playing. And they see that, they read that, but somewhere between reading that and it going through the brain, it ends up saying ankle injury, 0% chance of playing. And that's been a new thing. That never used to be the case in FPL. But I think people are now terrified, fearful, so fearful of seeing these little yellow triangles. Semenyo still has, I think, a pretty good chance of playing this week. And if he doesn't start, you know, if he doesn't pass his late fitness test, then he's not going to be playing at all, presumably. And then I'll get the auto sub of Alderete in. So if you, like I did mention this earlier, but if you have Semenyo and a good player in the first position on your bench, and I believe Alderete is decent bench cover, then I'd be absolutely fine to keep Semenyo. I'd be absolutely fine to play Semenyo. Because he's not out. He's just, you know, going to have a late fitness check. He could be out, but he's not definitely out. Yeah, Semenyo hasn't scored a huge amount of points recently, but like, and I know people will be tempted to remove him regardless, but the fixture against West Ham and then Everton in a couple of weeks is much better. And you look at the fixtures that he's played: Aston Villa away, Man City away, Forest at home. Fair enough, that's not great, but again, at Crystal Palace away, these are some pretty horrible fixtures. And the 0 points in against Aston Villa was only because he missed a penalty. If he scored that penalty, it would be a very different conversation. It's just these minor details kind of change agendas, don't they? James says, morning Dan, transfer this week, either Gabriel to Van Dijk or Reinders to Szoboszlai. Got Richard Senesi and Alderete as a back three. I think I still prefer the Gabriel transfer. I'm losing faith in Szoboszlai just because of the injuries at right back. Kind of is going to mean that we're going to see I think Szoboszlai at right back rather than in the attacking positions. Right, we've got a super chat here from Shim Yunq. Is this the Thomas Edison, Thomas Jefferson, Korean Thomas Edison, or Thomas Jefferson, whoever it is, guy? James Franklin. No, it's James Franklin, isn't it? It's James Franklin. I remember now. Yes, of course. But anyway, they say, how about using 4 and changing Semenyo to Gakpo as a value to avoid uncertainty? My first bench is Rodon. Okay, Franklin. Yes, of course. I remember now. Yeah, yeah, I mean, if Rodon is not the greatest bench cover this week, so yeah, in your instance, it's probably more worthwhile making a transfer there. I do quite like Gakpo, I can't lie, because of Wirtz being out. However, I have heard the rumours that Liverpool have been trying out with, is it Isak on the wing? I think it's Isak on playing Isak on the left wing in training, and that worries me a little bit about Gakpo's minutes. For some reason, Gakpo's just so rotation risk. You could make that move, but I think if you can afford to go for someone like Cunha or Mbermo, then I would do that instead. And if you have to go cheap, maybe like Sarr if you haven't got him already. I think Ismaila Sarr's still a good pick. But yeah, maybe I would make a move in your case. Franklin. Right, anyway. We've got another super chat here. Says, well, super members chat, I suppose. It says, isn't it better to play it safe with Haaland captain? I mean, going Saka might be a golden opportunity, but do we have to take it for the sake of it? 350k. I don't. This week, I don't think it is taking a risk for the sake of it. I don't think it is, because Haaland does have a bad fixture. Newcastle away is a bad fixture, and Saka typically does very well against Spurs. So I don't think this is just, going differential for the sake of it. I think this is a genuine opportunity. If you do want to go against the crowd, this week is a genuine opportunity to do so. But do you have to do it? Is it better to play it safe? That's completely down to the individual. If you are someone who doesn't really like taking risks and, would kind of, if you're happy with your team and you want to you're happy with your rank, you kind of want to coast along a little bit, then yeah, Haaland is probably the best captain for you. But it's going to be a team dependent, a personal preference dependent. So yeah, what is the best option on paper? Probably Salah. I would argue that Saka is a better captain than Haaland, and really the only reason to not captain someone other than Haaland is literally just risk management playing against the crowd. I think if I was not playing against anyone this week, if I was I don't know. Just I don't know. I was just someone gave me do you want to play this game? It's just you playing, Dan. Who do you think's going to score the most FPL points this week? Just you. You're not playing against anyone. It's nothing to do with your FPL team, anything like that. You're playing on your own. Who do you think's going to score the most points? I'd probably say Salah. I'd maybe say Saka. I probably wouldn't say Haaland. But you are playing against other people, and that's why you fall back to Haaland if you're feeling a little uncozy in the captaincy. That's probably what I would say there. But anyway, I think I've made you wait for the bench list long enough. So let's throw that one on screen. If I can find it. There we go. So this is the bench list I prepared earlier. I prepared this for yesterday's YouTube video. I'm gonna put Tarkovsky on here as well because he's probably one of the main players missing here. I don't know who else is missing really. I am also going to put Timber on here as well. Because I know I have had a few people asking about whether they should bench Timber, and in most cases, in pretty much every case, the answer is no. I think if we're looking for the best defenders for this week, then Arsenal defenders are the best. They have the best clean sheet odds. You know, that's pretty much it. But yeah, you pretty much always play your Arsenal defenders, including this week. Szoboszlai's missing. This is that thing again where people are using the bench list as a transfer tier list, isn't it? You probably play Szoboszlai. If you've bought Szoboszlai, then surely you're going to play him. A few people asking about Bowen, to be fair. So maybe Bowen does need to go on this list. Where exactly? I'm not sure. Away against Bournemouth. He's probably worth playing, to be honest. I think I probably would play Bowen ahead of a lot of these guys. I'm going to throw him in here. Reasonably high. Paul says Njai to Enzo and Gabriel to Virgil for 2 free transfers. No, I wouldn't make the Enzo transfer. I'd do the Gabriel to Virgil transfer, but not Njai to Enzo. I think Njai is okay for this week. It's not that bad. Do we really need Szoboszlai on this bench list? I feel like we're getting too many players at this point. Would I triple captain Saka? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why is Grealish so high? It's not that high. He's pretty much bang mid-table. It's against Manchester United, man. That's a good fixture. That is a good fixture for a attacker. Man United concede so many goals and so many chances. Munoz on the bench list. I mean, I think you can probably assume that he's above these guys, above the other Crystal Palace defenders. I mean, if you're spending 5.8 million on a defender, you play him every week. I think that's pretty much same goes, unless the defender has a really bad fixture, and Palace have a fabulous fixture against Wolves this week. But unless your premium defender has a horrible game week, and I mean Man City away, Arsenal away, or Liverpool away, then you just play them every week, don't you? Who to bench? Rice, Enzo, Semenyo, and Jaya, or Thiago? Well, probably not Thiago. I think every one of those players is on the bench list, other than Rice. Who would I bench there? Okay. Well, going through this, it's not going to be Enzo. It's not going to be Thiago. It's not going to be Semenyo. I guess it's between Njai and Rice. Who would I bench? Really tough. That's a coin toss between Rice and Njai. That is so difficult to answer. They are about even in my mind. In fact, you guys can't see this, but I'm going to just go on the predicted points tool. Whenever I have a coin toss situation, I'm just going to look at predicted points and projected points. Algorithms can resolve this. Rice 5.4 predicted points and Jai 4.9. So that does suggest that Rice, the data model suggests that Rice is the player to play and then Jai is the player to bench. But I think that's a really tight one. Really tough. You think Reece James is starting? Yes. I think probably. I don't see why not. Excuse me. I don't see why Reece James wouldn't start this week. Well rested, I guess. He is like the main starting right back for Chelsea. He will get his occasional benching. Barca Tuesday. We don't think he's going to be he can play twice a week. I mean, maybe you're right, but yeah, if I had to guess, I would say that James starts. It's never certain with him, is it? But yeah, I mean, as always, this is why this is a bench list. If you have James, you probably play him. That doesn't mean you should buy Reece James. I mean, I would not be touching that one. So yeah, just to make that very, very clear, this is a players you already own who you should bench. And maybe I should clarify that in the writing. You already own and are considering benching. On the list. There we go. On the list or in the list? In the list, I think. There we go. That's kind of, I think maybe you should clear that one up. Can you add Munoz to the list, please? No. Unfortunately not. I have a pretty strict rule, no premium players in, and no, like, if a player is, to me, super obvious to play, like crazily obvious to play, I can't waste space on the bench list with him. Like, I'd be just as, if I had Munoz, I'd be just as likely to bench Haaland, honestly. And if we're not considering benching Haaland, we shouldn't be considering benching Munoz. Munoz is an absolute play. There's about 2 defenders in the entire game who are better picks than Munoz in defense this week. So it's absolutely, for 100% of teams, Munoz should be played, pretty much. I'm really struggling to think of a third defense. If you have Saliba and Timber, then I would play Munoz as the third defender. Is there any other defender? I mean, I would play Munoz over Virgil. I'd play him above Chelsea defenders. I'd play him above pretty much everyone. Yeah. Munoz is probably the third best defender in the game this week. So for that reason, he is a definite play in all teams. Did Semenyo trade on Friday? No. I don't believe so. Or certainly not as far as I'm aware. Put Szoboszlai on the list. You know what? There's a lot of people asking for Szoboszlai on the list, so I will make this exception, even though I think it's a bit of a random one. I think he would go somewhere in this kind of area. I'm gonna drop him maybe above Inter. No, let's go below. We're going to go here. Play Timber or Senesi. I believe both players are on the bench list. They are. It's Timber all day. So I think, you know, to answer a lot of questions regarding Arsenal defenders, play them. Play all of your Arsenal defenders. They are the best defenders for this week, no matter what. Would I take out Njai for Sobosai? Not personally, no. Best 8 million to replace Semenyo. If you can't find a player you like, it's probably a sign that you shouldn't make the transfer. But who is the best replacement? Under 7 million? I don't know. Probably Ismail Assar, I guess. If you can go up to Cunha or Mbeumo, I would do that. Why are Crystal Palace defenders so low on the list? I don't think they are. In terms of defenders, they're only below Arsenal defenders and Chelsea defenders, who have better clean sheet odds than Crystal Palace defenders. So you've got Arsenal defenders, Chelsea defenders, and then Crystal Palace defenders. But, you know, there's an argument to say that that should be a little bit closer between maybe the Chelsea and the Crystal Palace. I think the fact that Crystal Palace play away from home does just drop them below Chelsea defenders for me. Oh, we're looking at the captain poll. We're on 65% Haaland, which is still 2/3 of us here, but it is less than most weeks. Usually the poll is at 75% plus Haaland. So we are a little lower than most weeks. Second most popular choice seems to be Saka, but there's not too much difference between Saka and like Mateta Sarr. Not too many people going for someone else outside of these 3 picks though. Or 4 if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Gabriel to Saliba or to Truffert and Semenyo to Saka for -4? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Is Truffert really the... If you've already got Senesi, I don't think I'd go for Truffert. How much is Truffert? 4.5. If you're going 4.5, I think I would actually go for... Well, Richards if you don't have him. But I think I like Vandenberg a little bit more. Particularly if you're not free hitting next week. I like Sepp Vandenberg at Brentford as a 4.5. But yeah, if you want to go Truffert, I guess that's fine too. I think if you can afford to get Semenyo to Saka, I think I would maybe do it for a -4. So I think, yeah, that's probably what I would do. I would do the 4.5 million defender and Semenyo to Saka for the -4. I think I would do it. Bench 1, Thiago, Enzo, Semenyo, Sarr. Are all 4 on the bench list? I think they are. Let's check this out. Thiago is on there. Enzo's on there. Semenyo's on there. Sarr is not on there. Sarr would be above all of these players. So I guess in your case, you bench Semenyo. Is Cash a good option? He's okay. I think you're basically just purely depending on clean sheets with him, though, because defensive contributions are so rare with Villa defenders, and the attacking data for Cash is not great. Blizz Tarkovsky is already on the bench list, my friend. Look a little bit harder. Look a little bit lower, and you might just find him. You might just find him. So, I think a lot of your questions, guys, the players are on the bench list already. A lot of the players are already there. Jason says, is Semenyo going to start? We don't know yet. It's going to be a late decision. The decision probably has been made by this point, but we don't know about it. I wonder if we've got any leaks or anything like that. Probably not. But it's worth a look. We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. No, can't find anything interesting. Who's my FPL Mate captain in this week? Well, that's a great question. Do you want to have a look? Should we show you? Why am I on the transfers page? I should be on the pick team page. That is who your FPL Mate's captain in this week. He's taking a wee risk. He's taking a wee risk and going for the little Bukayo Saka. Hopefully, that's going to deliver the points against Spurs. Maybe, for good luck, you know what? Hold your horses, guys. Hold your horses. You want to know who we're captaining this week? Well, let me tell you. Boom. Boom, that's who. Boom Sakalaka. There we go. You know what? It looks right. It looks right. It feels right. Maybe that's more hope than anything, considering I am an Arsenal fan. But Saka against Spurs, you can do a lot worse. You can do a whole lot worse. People really don't like Semenyo high on the bench list. It's a case of if you have him, start him, and if he doesn't play, he doesn't play. But if he does play, you want Semenyo against West Ham. You want him in your team. If he was fully fit, he'd be top of the bench list, and nobody would even be thinking about benching him. You wouldn't even be thinking about it. You'd be thinking, this is maybe a captain option. That's it, isn't it, really? So if there's, let's just say, for example, there's a 50% chance of Semenyo starting. If the 50% chance is true, then not only is he a good pick, he's a captain-worthy pick for this week. If you had to pick who's the better captain, Saka or Mateta, I have both Saka and Mateta, and one of them is my captain. So, Mark, I hope that answers that question. If he plays a third of the game, could happen. Could happen. I think it's pretty unlikely, though. It's more likely that he's either fit or not fit. So he either plays, he starts, or he doesn't start. He needs, out of the squad. It's going to be one or the other. Lee Cherry says, give Saka the armband. Oh, way ahead of you, mate. Way ahead of you. What are your thoughts on Ekatike and Gakpo? Honestly, right now, I feel like I don't want to touch either of them. I don't want to play with fire with the rotation risk. So I don't know. If you really like taking risks, then Liverpool players are for you. But it's not for me. It's not for me. Even if you think they're going to be good for minutes this week, you're rolling the dice next week, and then the week after, and the week after, and the week after, and it goes on and on and on. I'm not playing games with minutes over December. No, sir. Nailed on players only for me. Bruno is the only one against the opponents to have a great history. That's not true, Ahmed, actually. Saka has a great history against Arsenal. Hang on, I was looking this up against Arsenal, against Spurs. I was looking at this earlier. So this is on transfer marked. So last time they played, he got an assist against Spurs, and before that he got a goal and an assist against Spurs in back-to-back games. Assist there as well in 22-23. In 21-22, a goal and an assist in that game as well. A 3-1 win. So actually, yeah, Saka's got a pretty decent record against Spurs. I know Bruno has as well. Don't get me wrong. Bruno has also got a good record against Everton. Very good. But I would say Saka has a good record against Spurs too. Haaland definitely doesn't have a good record against Newcastle. That's for sure. Haaland does not like playing in Newcastle. Sam says Mateta over Haaland captain. Wolves easy fixture. I'm not against it, Sam. I'm not against it. I think you can definitely consider that. If you're happy to bet against Haaland, Mateta should be in the conversation of alternative captains. He absolutely should be in that conversation. So, yeah, if you are feeling like taking the risk, I'd be willing to do it. Sid Vicious says bench Calafiori or Richards. Calafiori may come off the bench. I don't know if I'm convinced by that one. Am I convinced by that one? Calafiori's not been in training, so like I'm not sure he would be risked off the bench if he is, unavailable. No, or would he? Because that is a position of rotation for Arsenal. There's always a substitute at left back every game, seemingly, for Arsenal. So maybe. I still think I would play Calafiori though, unless you really just but again, so many of these questions today are just about risk management. Like, how willing are you to take a risk? If you want to play it safe, then any player with any kind of triangle next to their name, bench them, sell them, whatever. But if you're actually willing to take a bit of a risk, play these guys. See what happens. Roll the dice. And I think that's what I would typically lean towards. But whether that's a good or bad thing is perhaps another question. Let's put the bench list back on screen because I can see you guys asking a few more bench related questions, and hopefully that's going to be able to help you guys a little bit. Hopefully. What we got here? I own Saka too, but I don't know why I'm going with Mateta. Yeah, I mean, I know why, because Mateta's got a great fixture. He's a good captain, man. Miss Noopy, good morning. Thoughts Nekatike, rotation risk. Scares me. Don't want to touch. Aston Villa defenders on the bench list. I mean, where would I put them? Probably around like the Anderson Mukiele level. Is Enzo good for a free hit? Shout out from Copenhagen. Maybe. I guess now he's been declared fit, then let's say yes. Let's say yes. Kudus on the list. Did I not put Kudus? Kudus is available, isn't he? I mean, he'd be low, Duncan, wouldn't he? He'd be pretty low. Like Shaka level? Is that harsh? No, I don't think it's harsh. I think if we've got Voltamado against City that low, then we have to put Kudus down that low as well, right? I think I've maybe even been a little harsh on Voltamado, to be honest. I'm going to put Kudus down here. I think. But then you got players like Dewsbury Hall. Would I actually play Dewsbury Hall ahead of Kudus this week? I think I genuinely might. So let's put them next to each other. Is that harsh? Maybe. Maybe. Thoughts on Ahmad? Probably wouldn't touch him. Like any player that is even slightly rotation risk. And typically, and this isn't a catch-all, but if you have to ask if a player is rotation risk, they probably are. In December. Specifically in December. But there are a few Ahmad questions. Well, is that maybe because he's a slightly more affordable Man United pick? Perhaps. Yes, got a couple of returns recently, hasn't he? His data's been pretty weak throughout this season, though. I don't think his minutes are completely secure. And as such, I'm not totally convinced by him. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Virgil van Dijk bench list. So now people buying Van Dijk to bench him. Crazy. I can't seem to get rid of Reinders, and yes, Ahmad is because of budget. Got 6.5 to replace him. I see. It could be. It's an interesting pick, and it kind of stinks of one of those picks that kind of everyone kind of ignores, who actually ends up doing quite well. It does have that vibe, but I can't really justify him as a pick. So it's difficult for me to sit here and talk about why you should or shouldn't. Well, why you should pick Ahmad, because yes, he's got a few returns recently, but the data's not great, and we know there is going to be some degree of rotation risk. I can't make a strong argument to pick him, but if you want him, it seems one of those risks that could pay off. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to add any more players to the bench list, by the way, guys. Just because it is so full already. The text on screen is already minute. Those on mobile are already got their screens 1 inch from their eyes to try and read the bench list, and I don't want to cause any permanent damage to the wonderful live stream viewers. Wonderful live stream viewers. So yeah, we're probably not going to add anyone at this point. I think we've got all of the main players covered, which is what we aim to do with the bench list. And hopefully from context, you can maybe figure out some of the others. Andrew took a last minute 4 transfer -8 last night. Crazy. You feel uncleansed? Hey, if it improves your team and it means that you're not going to need to make many transfers or take many hits in the upcoming weeks, then might not be a bad thing after all. Just got to get through this week with the -8 looming over your team, right? Thoughts on Thiago? Thiago, good. He will be on my free hit team next week. Assuming I do free hit next week, which I think I will. But if I do, Thiago will very much be in that team. I do like him as a pick. I do like him. I think my plan with Thiago is to not buy him this week, obviously. Free hit him in next week. And then after that, actually, let me take the bench list off screen and just show you. Then after that, let's find him. Got a couple of rougher fixtures. So Arsenal away, Spurs away. So won't own him for Brighton away. Will own him for Burnley at home. Won't own him for Arsenal and Spurs away. And then I'd probably look to bring him in for Gameweek 16. Leeds at home, then Wolves, Bournemouth, Spurs at home, Everton, even Sunderland at home isn't too bad. I like this little run of fixtures here. So I think that's the plan. And when I do bring him in Gameweek 16, that'll be when we get the extra free transfers. And what I'll probably do is make a double switch and remove probably someone in midfield. Could be Enzo, could be Sarr. Downgrade them in order to upgrade Cheeto Obi, or whoever your cheap forward is, up to Thiago. So I think that's the plan there, to downgrade a midfielder and upgrade my non-playing forward to Thiago, and that'll be in game week 16. But I'll also have him on free hit in 13. That's the plan with him, which I like as a plan, actually. Super chat from Mr. Media Man here. Subs like Enzo or Minter on wildcard have Sarr already. If I'm on wildcard, I think I probably would. I still go for Enzo now that Palmer has picked up that injury. Maybe, but maybe not. Let's go for Minter. Save a little bit of money. You never know when that might come in handy. Let's go. Let's say Minter. All three are good options, though. So if you have a preference out of those three, I would go for them. If you have a genuine preference, because there's not too much between them, not too much to divide them. Right, I think I'm pretty much locked in. Let's make sure my team is saved. We take a screenshot as well before the app starts telling me I'm not allowed to look at it whilst it's updating. There we go. Saka versus Salah versus Burmo versus Haaland captain. If you have Salah, I would captain him. FPL deadline, the only reason to have YouTube Premium. Is that right? You don't have to watch ads when it comes to those deadlines. I love YouTube Premium, I can't lie. I think that's probably the best value I get out of any subscription is YouTube Premium, without a doubt. I watch a lot of YouTube. Isildur or Dewsbury Hall? Is neither an answer? That's a tough one. I guess Isidore? I don't know. They're both scoring 2 points. Thiago or Sarr, please. Probably Sarr over Thiago this week. Probably Sarr. I feel like Crystal Palace players typically are like top of the list this week against the Wolves. Really nice fixture. Would you do a bench boost on Dubravka, Anderson, Voltamata, and Caicedo? You know what? Yeah, I think I would. Anderson's pretty decent. Caicedo's pretty decent. And Voltamata, look, it's away against... Oh, sorry, it's home against Man City. But if anyone's scoring in that game for Newcastle, you fancy Voltamata. Yeah, I think I would bench boost those 4 players. I would. Wouldn't expect much from Dubravka, but the others look good. But then there is the argument to say, if your bench is that good this week, then is it even better in other weeks? Because that's a lot of money on the bench, regardless, and surely that lot of money will be on the bench. It is far too late, in the week to answer that question, I guess, because we've got 30 seconds until deadline passes. But yeah, that looks like a really strong bench. But is that going to be every single week? Bring in Doku soon. I might bring him in on free hit next week, to be fair. I might. I'm looking at him. I'm going to monitor Man City minutes over the next week to see which City midfielder is the guy to buy. Right, are we locked in? Are we happy? Yeah, should be, because you've got 10 seconds till deadline. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! It's not the new year. It is the new game week, though. We are locked for game week 12. Wow, guys. It's been so long. It has been so long. But we're locked. I'm so scared of going against Haaland captain, but you know what? It's all part of the fun, right? Lee says a quick change back to Haaland. You bottle job, Lee. You've absolutely bottled it, mate. Baller says, all the best, guys. Mark says, Saka captain and bench boost active. Good luck, everyone. Big week for you, Mark. Big week for you. Louis says, now the deadline was reached. What do you think of me going Canate for Gabriel? It's fine. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's one of the better picks. One of the better replacements for Gabriel, I think. Mr. Jet says, Saka, the difference in North London derby. Come on, you gutters. Couldn't agree more. Duncan says, oh, didn't even notice that. Good luck to you. Yeah, I'm going to need it, mate. Callum says, thinking ahead, does anyone know of any potential double game weeks before the chips reset? There is not going to be any. There's not going to be any. Well, I mean, technically, there's always a chance, but no. It's super unlikely. Oh, Lee, you're saying that I should change back to Saka. I see. Sorry, I should change back to Haaland. Quick, change back to Haaland. I get it now. Absolutely not. Ideal week to play the first wild card. It's completely team dependent. I don't think there is an answer there. But if there is, maybe it's game week 13. There are some fixture swings in game week 13. If not, maybe 16. Evolution of Errors says, I forgot to change captain from Mateta to Haaland. Could be a blessing in disguise, my friend. You never know. You never know. It's a shame that's a 3 o'clock game. I would have loved to watch that game live on TV properly. Is Semenyo going to start? Well, you'll find out in a couple of hours, my friend. I don't know. What do you think about Gabriel to Saliba? Yeah, I like it. A lot. That would be one of my top picks for sure. Jordan says, please review my free hit team. Sanchez, Munoz, Virgil, Senesi, Caicedo, Burma, Minter, Salah, Haaland, Thiago. Yes. Yeah, quite like it. Pretty strong. Super chat from Marty says, have a beer on me, mate. €10. Wow. That's a surprising one. Thank you very much, Marty. What a legend. Thank you. I really appreciate that, mate. I really do. I'm actually not drinking at the moment. Actually taking a bit of a break from alcohol for the last couple of months. I'm probably going to break that because it is my brother's birthday in a couple of weeks. So perhaps I'll save the beer for that day. If that's okay, Marty, I'm going to save it for a couple of weeks. I really appreciate that, man. That's very, very generous. Very kind of you. Oh, wow. Thank you, mate. That's really, really nice. How lovely. Probably get more than the beer for €10. Oh, this is a very expensive beer. A very premium beer brand for €10. What a legend, man. Sounds like your brother is getting that beer. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Wait, is that... Yeah, are you my brother? I'm just reading. Jordan JB95 sounds suspiciously like it could be my brother. A lot of the details in that name add up. No, but he should get that beer. I'm actually so confused whether that is him or not. I don't know. I don't actually know what his YouTube account is called, but it could well be called that. If you're not my brother, then you share some similarities with him. Let's put it that way. And you don't drink yourself. Oh. Is that what you do? You don't drink, but you want to buy beers, so you buy them for other people. Very generous way of living. Can you explain to me, brother, how the AFCON will affect things and how the concept of us getting more free transfers? Yeah, for sure, man. So the basic premise is no matter how many transfers you have going into Game Week 16, you will have 5 transfers in Game Week 16. So if you enter Game Week 16 with just one free transfer, just one free transfer, so you spent all your transfers, going into Game Week 16, you'll get your one usual free transfer you get every week, and you will get 4 additional ones to be topped up to 5 free transfers. Standard. If you, in Game Week 15, roll 4 free transfers into Game Week 16, then you will get no additional free transfers. So basically, no matter what the situation is, you will always have 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. People talk about it like you get 5 extra transfers. You don't. The maximum you can get is 4 more. But really, it doesn't really work like that. The way it works is no matter who you are, what the case is, anything, you will have 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. If that means you've gained 1, you've gained 1. If that means you've gained 4, you've gained 4. And anything in between. So that's how that works. Which basically means in Game Week 15, you want to be using all of your free transfers by then. And actually, I wouldn't even wait until Game Week 15 to use all your free transfers. I would just be pretty liberal with how you spend your free transfers over the next few weeks. Like the value of a transfer has significantly diminished for this period. So if you feel like you've got a move that you're thinking, it improves my team a little bit, but I'm kind of on the fence of it. Should I do this? Shouldn't I? Just do it. Just do it. How long are the AFCON players out for? It depends how far their teams progress in the tournament. But, you're looking at kind of a few game weeks at minimum. Worst case scenario, they're not going to be back until January. So quite a few weeks. So there we go. Yeah. Sadan says, I recently saw a comment on his video saying he's going through something. What happened? Whatever happened, I hope you are better now. Do I want to talk about this on YouTube? Or do we leave it on Twitter? I don't know. It feels a little bit. I try and keep the vibes good on YouTube and leave all the negativity for Twitter. I spoke about it on Twitter if you want to go check that out. But yeah, there is some stuff going on. Let's put it that way. Mafon says, what do you think of me going Van Hecker for Gabriel, then free hitting Vandenberg next week, then moving to Bruno? Moving Enzo to Bruno? Yeah, I mean, for sure. For sure, that sounds like an interesting little move. African players would be available for up until 16, no, maybe even 17. Yeah, that's right. And it depends when a player is released to go on international duty, because a lot of the African nations are playing friendly games before the tournament starts, and it's like some players will go and play those friendlies, other players will just join the camp pretty much when the group stage starts. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a case by case basis, and we're going to have to keep an eye on things. From what I know, a lot of clubs are in discussions with the national teams right now to figure out who's going to go off and when. So maybe we get more clarity on that within the next week. Naren says, greatest stream, honest, open, engaging. Well done, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Really hope Saka punt works this week. Yeah, me too, man. Who's the best 5 million defender to go for long term? Probably Malik Chow, to be honest. Hey Dan, do you play Mobile Legends Bang Bang? I have never heard of that. I don't really play mobile games, to be honest. There's a huge market for mobile games, though, isn't there? But like, I feel like that has just not entered my world at all. Are mobile games more popular, perhaps, in other countries? Because, you know, like, I think whenever I speak to my friends and stuff, no one really plays mobile games. Maybe like plays a little bit when they're on like a plane journey or a train, but like in terms of gaming, seems to be mostly console based. You just said Chow because you own him. No, I own Chow because I think he's the best. It's the other way around. Dan, sorry if I missed it, but what's the latest with Stick to FPL? Yeah, again, that is explained. Basically, there's some I mean, let's okay. There is some stuff going on in my personal life right now, kind of. And I'm having to reprioritize where I spend my time and money. And the Stick to FPL show is very time consuming and very expensive to produce, and it's not really particularly profitable. It's more of a passion project thing, and I don't. Yeah, it's just not the right time for it. So I am really sorry that Stick to FPL podcast is not going. It is on indefinite hiatus. It might come back at some point if things change. If you are interested in all that stuff, what is actually going on, and I have left. I spoke about it on my Twitter account. Don't really want to talk about it here, to be honest, if that's okay. You ever played We Are Warriors? Okay. Oh, well, we know who you are, don't we? Could you do Stick to FPL virtually? Yeah, I guess technically, but again, it is time consuming, and that's still going to be me producing an entire show on my own. If I do it virtually, then I have to produce the whole thing on my own. And yeah, I wouldn't have to travel. Yeah, it would be less costly. But if it's time consuming, then it's taking my time away, and time is money when you're self-employed. There you go. So yeah, it's kind of possible. I don't actually play PC games either. I pretty much, at the moment, I just play Call of Duty. Which I'm enjoying. Double XP weekend right now. I've managed to get myself up to 2nd prestige. Should be 3rd prestige by the end of today. Thoughts on Welbeck? Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. As a pick. Clash Royale. No, I don't play mobile games, man. I don't play mobile games. I don't play PC games. I play Xbox games. And pretty much whatever is the trending shooter game, I'm probably playing. Although, a few people have been asking me the last couple of live streams after deadline if I've watched Solo Leveling yet. And I actually have now watched, first 6 episodes of Solo Leveling. Finally. I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. Oh, what's going on there? Semenyo starting according to Let's Talk FPL. Wow. How about that? According to a DM that he received. Someone trying to call him. Pick up. Semenyo starting. I wish I had wish I had people calling me up with team news 10 minutes before deadline. That'd be incredible. Right, what are we looking for? We're looking for lineups, aren't we? Although, to be honest, are the Premier League even going to put it out in time? Let's just go to the Chelsea's. It is the best anime. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what to feel about it. Because I watched the first 4 episodes of Solo Leveling. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is far more gory than I was expecting. There was a lot of gore. It was like, okay, well, I can handle it because I'm intrigued. And then 4 episodes gone. This is pretty interesting stuff. Episode 5, and for some reason, the main character is an entirely different guy. And I get, oh yeah, he did the solo leveling. That's why he's a different guy now. But it was like, one episode he's one guy, and then the next episode he looks completely different. The character design is completely different. His personality is different. His voice actor's different. What's going on? Why is it suddenly a different guy? Why are Chelsea not tweeting their moves? Sims here went Semenyo to Cunha. Now that we've seen the leak that Semenyo may well be starting, do you regret the move, Sim? Because I still think that is a good transfer, regardless of whether Semenyo is available or not, but perhaps a little bit more luxurious. Why are you not tweeting the lineups, man? Watch Cowboy Bebop. I don't really like the episodic format of Cowboy Bebop, to be honest. I have tried it. Yeah, a bit of a silly decision last minute. I don't know if it's that silly. It's a good pick. Where else are we going to find lineups? Am I bugging? Is Chelsea not the first kickoff of the? Have I somehow got this wrong? No, we should have lineups. 10 minutes to announce. No. Hour and 15 before kickoff now. Lineups we see. Or has it changed? And I didn't realise. What's going on here? Is Twitter down or something? You love the Igris fight? Oh, maybe we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna stick with it for a little bit longer, I think. Burnleys have done theirs. Should we look at Burnleys? Do we care? Or should we look at Burner Boy instead? Dubravka, Walker, Hartman, Esther, Tuanzebe, Ogachukwu, Anthony, Florentino, Chauna, Fleming, and Cullen. Don't know what you guys are going to be doing with that information, but I mean, Dubravka's starting if anyone's playing him. Start at 4 a.m. and watch till 2 p.m. Oh my god, a 10-hour anime session is crazy. All right, so oh wait, here we go. Got the lineups on live score. I don't know what's going on with Chelsea's Twitter. Well, I have the lineup. Let's who did I captain? I captain Saka. Have the lineup. There's not really too much to worry about here. So Sanchez, James, Chalobah, Tosin, Cucurella, Santos, and oh wait, there is something to worry about. No Caicedo. Sanchez, James, Chalobah, Tosin, Cucurella, Santos, Enzo, Neto, Joao Pedro, Gittins, and Delap. So no Garnacho and no Caicedo. Yeah, I guess that is a little interesting. Jordan, I see you're making moves in the draft league. I know you're watching, Jordan. I know it's you now. Oh, and you messaged me as well. Okay, Caicedo benched, and I guess if anyone took a risk on a Staval or Garnacho, you kind of, I don't want to say got what you deserve, but you've got what was, a very much a possibility. You've got to say that at least. Gittins is interesting for draft. Do I fancy going for him? I already picked up the lap. Do I fancy picking up Gittins? But not sure who I'll drop, to be honest. Wasn't no Caicedo leaked hours ago? I didn't see it. If it was, I didn't see it. I mean, I wasn't awake hours ago, to be fair. But there was a chance because of international duty and stuff, and obviously the midweek game. There we go. Can you show your draft team? No, because the website. Well, it isn't a website. The app I use to play draft, which is Sleeper, don't have a web like a desktop version. So there we go. Hangover, bruh. I'm not hungover. Or is Caicedo hungover? I haven't been hungover in a while. Fresh as a daisy. I'm just tired. I'm just knackered because my back hurts because I pulled it playing Call of Duty last night. Crazy. Right, okay. Let's wrap things up. Because we've got our team news now. Thankfully. I seem to be safe. I seem to be safe from all levels of rotation and what have you. Yeah, I'm happy. Right, guys, hopefully you guys are reasonably happy as well. And you haven't been burnt yet. I think that there's, even if you have been burnt by the Chelsea lineup news, don't worry. There's plenty of more opportunities for other people to get burnt in the later games. After an international break, there's always a few surprises. So we'll see what happens next. But yes, guys, thank you so much for watching this live stream today with me. I will be back tomorrow, actually, with a first free hit draft because I'm like 90% sure I'm going to free hit Game Week 13. So I've already kind of started building the first draft. I'm going to make a couple of tweaks to it, and I'm going to share that with you guys tomorrow. So I'll catch you then. If not, I'll see you on Twitter. Enjoy the football and enjoy the weekend, whatever you are up to. And we'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye, guys. Cheers.